In today's video, we're going to be looking at the pros and cons of the Leica M9 and Leica M9-P in 2022. Spoiler alert, if you love colour photography, this video may cost you some money, so there's your warning. Let's get into the video. Hi guys, Matt here from MrLeica.com. So yes, in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Leica M9 and Leica M9-P. When I was teaching in Dubai, Asif kindly lent me his Leica M9-P, and it's been quite a few years since I've used a Leica M9, and so I was really keen to test it out again and see how it compares to the more current cameras. For those of you that are new to the channel, I own a Leica M240, Leica CL, Leica SL and Leica Q. So this video is my almost first impressions after not using the Leica M9 since I think maybe 2017. The Leica M9 was my first Leica M digital camera, and when I upgraded to the Leica M240 I was massively disappointed, especially with the image quality. So in 2022, is the Leica M9 still a sensible choice for digital photography? First of all, what's the difference between the Leica M9 and the Leica M9-P? They're basically the same on the inside. The Leica M9 has got the little red dot on the front of the camera but no writing on the top plate. The Leica M9-P has writing on the top plate but no dot on the front of the camera. Another upgrade of the Leica M9-P, which came out almost 2 years after the Leica M9. The M9-P has got the upgraded hardened glass covering on the LCD, so it's much more smash resistant, crack resistant. I can say that I actually cracked chipped the corner off my old M9 screen, so the M9-P is definitely worth the upgrade if it's possible that you might knock your camera on the LCD. Another benefit of the Leica M9-P is it is 15 grams lighter than the M9, for those of you that are counting every gram. So 585 grams versus 600 grams, which is considerably lighter than the Leica M240, which is 680 grams. Okay, so on to the important bit. First impressions of the Leica M9-P after not using an M9 camera for 5 years or so. Let's break it down into pros and cons. Okay, so if we do pros first, if you know anything about the Leica M9 camera, people buy the Leica M9 camera for the amazing colours. Even taking photos of something completely basic, such as this photo I took on the rooftop in the hotel in Dubai. When you've got a photo which includes in particular reds, blues and greens, the photo just pop out the screen at you. You can't get reds out of a digital Leica camera the same as the Leica M9 from any of the cameras released to date. I spoke to my contacts, actually it was Omar in Dubai, who's got M9, M10, M10R, M11 and then the SL series cameras and the Qs, and I said, does any camera come close to the colours of the Leica M9? And he said the closest he's seen is the Leica SL2S. Some say that the M11 colours are good, some say that the Leica M10R colours are good, but I don't think any camera has come close to the reds of the CCD sensor of the Leica M9. For those of you that shoot JPEGs, the JPEGs out of the M9, both colour and monochrome, are amazing straight out of camera. Very vibrant. Personally, I shoot RAW, so all the photos in this video were shot in DNG, and then they're either RAW only or RAW plus my Mr. Leica M9 presets. The other benefit of the CCD sensor, I'd say, is the rendering. I think it gives a slightly more filmic look, especially in certain situations, which is more difficult to achieve with a CMOS sensor, just from my own experience using CMOS sensor Leica cameras and also the CCD Leica M9 that I used to own. I would say it took me 12 months to get used to the CMOS photos from the M240 when I part exchanged my Leica M9 for the M240 upgrade. It felt like a massive downgrade rather than an upgrade, but slowly but surely I learned to love the Leica M240, and with a preset the camera's okay, and it does have other benefits. Talking of other benefits, what about the cons of the Leica M9? If I was trying to describe how it feels like when shooting a Leica M9 camera, it's probably a little bit like shooting slide film in a 35mm film camera, but not as good. What I mean by this is when you shoot with, say, an old Leica M3 or Leica M6 or Bonnet camera, you have the enjoyment of the knobs and dials and the beautiful build of the old Leica cameras. With the Leica M9 you have all the slowness of the film camera, but without the beautiful clicks and knobs and dials and stuff. Instead you have noise. The Leica M9 is a noisy camera. It is slow. It is probably as slow as a film camera. Definitely don't try and do any kind of fast succession multiple fire shots, because the camera will just stop and buffer and the dreaded red light will come on the back of the camera body and start flashing, which basically means you've got to wait. For those of you that love chimping on the back of your camera, after you take every photo, take a click, ooh, that's nice, take a click, ooh, that's nice. You won't do that with a Leica M9 because the low megapixel LCD tiny display on the back is so rubbish. You can't really tell if it's a good photo or a bad photo. So you may as well wait till you get home. For those of you that shoot fast 50mm lenses, maybe 90mm or non-rangefinder calibrated lenses, for those of you that don't know, the Leica M8 and the Leica M9 don't have live view, so you can't attach an EVF, meaning the only way you can focus your photos is with the optical rangefinder. That means if you're using something like a Noctilux, like I used to use for weddings on the M9, you do need to kind of train yourself to be able to hit focus wide open at f1. Whereas if you use a Leica SL camera or one of the later M cameras with an EVF, you literally can't miss. It's so easy. You just zoom in through the VisoFlex and nail your shots. So be aware if you're using the Leica M9 or the M8, you can't use EVFs or live view. This is also a problem if you're using wide angle lenses, because I find live view pretty useful on the M240. Say if I'm using a 21mm lens or 15mm lens, because you don't need an accessory viewfinder. You can just look on live view and compose your shots with live view. If you're doing a wide lens photo with Leica M9, you will need an accessory finder, the same as if you're shooting film. And then my remark about it, similar to shooting slide film. I mean this in two ways. Number one, you get the same poppy, amazing colors like you might get from some of the slide films, maybe Velvia, for example. But more importantly, you've got a very limited dynamic range. So the same as when you're shooting slide film, you really need to nail your exposure in camera, because there's not much you can recover in post. So let's say, for example, you underexpose your photo. If it is underexposed and you've got blacks, there's no way you're going to recover any detail from the shadows. And if you do, you will just get kind of a grainy, noisy mess, as you can see in this example. Equally, if you overexpose too much, you will clip the highlights much more easily than on a CMOS sensor. And then when you try and recover your highlights in post, you'll just have like a white blob on the person's face. It's a photo for the bin. If you get your exposure right in camera, it's great, and you can do amazing night shots. I was shooting in Dubai, as you can see here, ISO 800, wide open at 1.4 with a Leica Simulux 35 1.4. And as long as I got the exposure right in camera, it was perfect. And the same as shooting highlights, expose for your highlights on a bright day, expose for your shadows in a darker situation, and then you get really clean looking shots, as I say, similar to shooting maybe slide film, which also has a limited dynamic range or latitude. Talking of shadow detail, if you're someone that likes to shoot in low light or the dark, the Leica M9 camera is probably not for you. The ISO tops out at maybe, I'd say ISO 800 for clean photos, and maybe ISO 1000 at a push, probably better in black and white at ISO 1000. So it's definitely not a low light monster. And this is why I did buy the Leica Noctilux back when I was using the M9, because I needed every bit of light I could get into the camera sensor for doing the low light wedding photography that I was doing. Another practical problem if you buy the Leica M9 or M9-P in 2022, as soon as you try and insert your modern 64 gig super speed SD card, the camera won't read the card, so you have to use a slower, older SD card for the camera to be able to work. Luckily, Asif, who lent me his M9P, had a slower, I think it was 16 gig card, and so I use that for my photos because none of my cards would work. So again, thanks Asif for saving me in that situation. And then perhaps the biggest risk of all, as you probably know if you know anything about the Leica M9, the Leica M9 and the Leica M9P are susceptible to the dreaded CCD sensor corrosion. Can you fix the CCD sensor corrosion? That is the question. And the answer is yes. So there is a company in the UK, this is non-sponsored. One of my patrons contacted me, and then I found out that way by trying to help them. I think they're called Advanced Service Repairs in the UK, and I believe they charge around £1,000 plus postage. If you're in the US, you're going to have to pay shipping as well, and it takes I think 8 weeks. I'll put a blog post to this Leica M9 post in the description below. Click that and I'll put a link to this repair place. So £1,000. So if you're buying a Leica M9, let's say £2,000, bear in mind that at some point the sensor is going to die. One of my patrons, a different one in New York, his sensor's just gone on his M9, so now it's going to cost an extra £1,000 to get that fixed, plus shipping, as I say, from the US. So that's the cost you're going to pay if you're going to be playing with this camera. Similar to some of the old, say, film cameras with a lot of electronics, maybe Hasselblad X-Pan, for example, or Mamiya 7, high-end film cameras where they've got a lot of electronics. They're a bit like a ticking time bomb. The difference with the M9 is you can get the sensor repaired if you're happy to pay the price to do so. I think those of you that have ever experienced the Leica M9 have bought one or maybe two because you know how good the colours are. And I think if colour is important to you in your photography, the Leica M9 or M9-P is the #1 best Leica camera to get for colour photography. Unless you want to shoot and do like night photos with colour, and then maybe not the best. I shoot mostly black and white, but if it was, I would definitely get a Leica M9 or try and get one with a sensor that's already been replaced. So in summary, it is very much like shooting film when using the M9. Underwhelming at the time of taking the photo, but when you get the photos back on your computer, your eyes light up. The photos are just amazing, I think. I remember when I bought my M9, I was a die-hard film shooter, and when I bought my M9, I didn't shoot film for 12 months. I think it's written in one of my blog posts on mrleica.com. That's how good the photos are, and that's how filmic the photos look, even for someone that shoots and develops their own film. Thanks to Asif, I can now release finally my updated Leica M9 presets after I lost my original Leica M9 presets when moving computers. 4 presets plus a bonus one, 2 colour, 2 black and white. The black and white is 1 high contrast, 1 low contrast, and then the colour is like 1 main colour one, which is more maybe of a warmer tone. I absolutely love it. I think it gives a real filmic look, and I've even applied it to some of my SL photos. These are SL photos with my new Leica M9 preset applied. And then I've also done like a cooler one, which is better if you like your blue sky days and kind of popping blue colours. And then I've done a free one, which is just like a bit more vibrant. So if you want to see the same photos in this video again at a slower pace, or look a bit more closely at how the presets affect the images, I'll put a link to the blog post below. We'd also includes links to the brand new M9 preset. If you love the Leica M9 as much as me, smash the like button. If you want to see a more geeky, spec orientated Leica M9 video with older examples, I'll link that after this video. And as always, a massive thanks to my awesome patrons. Thanks for watching, and more Dubai photos in the next video.